And now it's time to go even deeper into the project and different findings in different countries that have been part of the project. So project findings on EDI competencies and also panel discussion on EDI competencies in Germany, in Italy, Greece, Ireland, and Finland. So please, with a round of applause, let's welcome on stage Dr. Heini Ikävalko from Aalto University, Dr. Audrey Stenson from IADT, Valeriya Racheeva, Dresden University of Technology, Germany, Marco Croella, Talent Garden, Italy, and Konstantinos Mantzos, Hellenic Open University from Greece. So you can all join the stage and with a round of applause, please. We have our four panelists here, but we should also have Valeriya Racheeva from Dresden University of Technology from Germany joining us also online. Just want to make sure that Valeriya is also present and can hear us. It's almost like Eurovision.
Yes.
Yeah. No points. No points today, but still going international. Yes, Valeriya, can you hear us as well?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome.
Hi. My name is Racheeva. Thank you for inviting me here, and I have a very special place in this panel, which is on the screen. So
yes.
I'm very excited about this place.
Yes, you have all of our attention. So really, really happy that you were also able to join us online. I thought first with all of our panelists, we could have a small round of introduction still. You could introduce yourself, however, whatever you want to tell about your background may be connected to the subject that we're talking today. So maybe, Marco, you want to start?
I'll begin. I'm Marco Croella from Talent Garden. We are a digital skill academy working across 7 countries in around 20 campus where we provide trainings to professionals, to individuals, and also to corporates. Everything revolved around digital topics. And so our point of view is not a point of view of an academic institution, but of a training provision institution working along with the workers, managers, and people who are joining the world of the job. So this is our.
Wonderful, thank you, Marcos.
Hi, I'm Konstantinos Mantzos.
Yeah.
That's okay. And I come from Greece, from Hellenic Open University. I'm a researcher with the DAISY group there, and the DAISY group is part of the Hellenic Open University and is working with several European projects, among which Edify Edu is one. And we are quite interested in all issues concerning long-distance education, diversity, inclusion, issues that can be integrated in university level. So we are trying to work with curricula both in our university and also to other universities as well. And we're very happy to be here, and we are very grateful for Aalto University to host us. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you, and welcome one more time. And Heini, you want to say a few words as well?
Yeah, I'm Heini Ikävalko from Aalto University, School of Business, Center for Knowledge and Innovation Research. I'm a research manager. We do different kinds of research projects on the fields of innovation and organizations, and one of my favorite research topic during the years has been related to EDI, especially on equal pay and diversity and these sorts of things.
Wonderful, thank you. Audrey.
I'm Audrey Stenson. I work in the Dún Laoghaire Institute of Art, Design and Technology in the Faculty of Enterprise and Humanities with Dr. Josephine Brown. We have multiple business management courses from applied entrepreneurship, business management, digital marketing, and we also have a successful EDI master's program that runs. So my role is as lecturer on and supervisor of master's students.
Wonderful, thank you. And Valeriya, you want to also maybe tell something about your background to start the panel? Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Val, and I'm a researcher and project manager at TU Dresden. And TU Dresden is the largest university of technology in Germany. We have 17 faculties, 119 degrees, and 30,000 students. So it's a huge university. Right. We have also, besides ADI project, we have many other projects on EU level, also international level. And yeah, I'm currently involved in this project, besides also other projects. Besides my work in TU Dresden, I'm also very active in different initiatives and programs which are related to diversity and inclusion and also entrepreneurship.
Wonderful, thank you. I think it's now time to sort of slowly start going to your individual countries. And maybe we could start with the question that is there now currently happening in your country, some kind of a hot topic conversation around EDI issues, themes, maybe even connected to some of the findings. But now more sort of what is the public discussion happening at the moment?
Well, you know, in Italy, public discussion is quite hectic about EDI topics, but it's maybe some years now that at the center of the public discussion there's the gender gap and the role of women, of how women are involved in the world of job. And anyway, a brand new trend of discussion is related to what is called Industry 5.0, which is a new approach to the industry where you put the human at the center of the evolution of the digitalization of the innovations that happen in the market. And obviously, the first concern when you talk about human centrism is to make it human, to be sure to involve all human beings, despite of the unconscious biases that we have found to be fully present and of which the market is starting to be aware. And so how to cope with EDI topics is probably at the center of the discussion about this new evolution.
Wonderful, thank you. And then Konstantinos.
Yeah, in Greece lately, several stories have hit the news, the mainstream news, concerning heavily what we discussed today, but on the negative side. So we had several situations that exclusion came and exclusion, also that people are any kind of discriminations that are coming. They were very obvious and very evident. So not just the labor market. I mean, on the labor market and what we're doing here, what Audrey was saying before about the pan-European, more or less it stands for Greece as well. That the fact that gender gap or the issues concerning the exclusion of migrants, of refugees as well. But the thing is that what struck to me after this, what I was talking about before, about these news pieces that have come to us lately, is actually that what we do here is not just aiming at at one level of society, which is the labor market or the business management, education, or whatever, but can go back and should go back to all levels, because there is, it seems that there is a strong need to educate not just parts of the social strata, but everybody.
It's a very good point. Thank you for sharing. Then Heini, we've had a lot of discussions also in Finland, I would say.
So difficult to choose because during the summertime and after the summer we had this like discussion about racism and sort of definitions of what do we mean by racism and how to define this. And this has been going on since summer in our society, and that is sort of, from the positive side, I can see that's a sort of option for us to sort of talk about these issues and also increase awareness and definitions. But the most positive sort of piece of news, as you mentioned, that there are some issues are in the news lately. So last night in the YLE, in the main news, there was a topic on a recent research that showed what was the value of using incognito recruitment in organizations, and that's one of, I would say, a positive signs and practices that has been discussed in Finland.
Yes, thank you. Then Audrey.
By Irish law, any business with 250 employees plus in Ireland have to report on the gender pay gap. And that has happened since last year. However, it's the companies, small to medium enterprises, especially the Irish ones, that are not reporting on this. So our figures are not, they're not true to form, they are not complete. So that is something that is a hot topic of conversation. As well as that, the gender pay gap is particularly complex with regard to the fact that we have skills shortages in areas like construction and medicine. And we find, especially from the social impact assessment, that women tend to go for female-dominated industries and roles, and men tend to go for male-dominated industries and roles. And there is a difference in pay in those industries. So that perpetuates the gender pay gap as well. And then in the news, over the last number of months, we had, of course, the Irish Defence Forces report, which there was a blog posted on the Edify EDU page about how women were actually being treated in the Irish Defence Forces. And there has subsequently been investigations into that too.
Thank you for sharing also these news. And then, Val, you also want to share some news from Germany about the hot topic conversation. I think we can't hear you, Carla.
Oh, but I'll unmute myself. That's
Perfect.
very typical. Yeah, in Germany, as well as in other countries that we just heard, Edify is a huge topic, considering especially shortage in skilled workers in Germany, but also the number of migrants that Germany is hosting currently. And of course, there's been a lot of great improvements in terms of legislation and law. And we have now also women's quota here in Germany for the board management positions. But still, there's a lot of reported unconscious bias and a lot of discrimination against women and against migrants, especially also women in working women and especially mothers. But also there is as we heard from other countries, we have gender pay gap, which is I think currently 18-20%. So there is still things that needs to be definitely improved in this area, and I'm certainly sure that we can contribute something with our project to improve the situation.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you for sharing the news. So let's go now to some key findings around the project in your specific country. Maybe you want to shortly sort of share some of your country-specific key findings. Maybe Audrey, this time you want to start?
Well, I mean, the social impact assessment, I think particularly highlighted to us the fact that EU legislation and Irish law is not necessarily being implemented in practice and on the ground. And that is inadvertently perpetuating discrimination against women. And we did focus on gender and particularly on females. So when we looked then at, what people's lived experiences were, we had to conduct focus groups, and one of those focus groups was with a group of students. And what really came out of that was the fact that EDI is such a divisive topic that it's difficult for people to have conversations around this. It's highly emotive. And it's about facilitating those discussions in such a way that it is a safe environment for our students to be able to do that, but not only students, also professionals. So that was almost like a eureka moment for us, I have to say. And then apart from that, we found that our findings generally were reflected across all of the other countries as well.
Wonderful, thank you. Heini.
Yeah, something that I could share from the findings in Finland, maybe dealing also with the sort of the understanding of EDI, because in this project we talk about EDI, and in Finnish language we don't have a word for EDI. We sort of we don't have an acronym like that. So some companies are using this English word, letters EDI. Some are using DEI, and some even in DI, and some speak about in Finnish. So this is one thing that is important also when we are sort of dealing with education and training. It is to ensure that we kind of build like a shared understanding of what do we mean by these issues, because it's a complex issue with different kinds of perspectives and different kinds of also understandings and meanings. And it is through talk and language that we sort of construct the world. So that is important in this reason.
Wonderful, thank you. Then maybe Konstantinos, some key findings in Greece, and maybe I would also like to ask that did you have similar experiences that was mentioned here about the sensitivity of the subject and discussion around it, and how to sort of facilitate that as well?
Actually, it's good you ask, because I was about to comment on that. But first of all, I want to start with the what really struck us on the research was the continuity of data between the macro level, the labor market research, the desktop research, and the focus groups and the in-depth interviews. And I will give an example on that. There is a difference in employment between men and women, which is about 12 to 14% in some cases in the Greek labor market in total, because in different sections of the industry the levels differ as well. But as an average is that. And at the same time, going in focus group, we listened oftenly that how young women in their 20s or 30s, they were faced with a kind of difficulty in being employed when the question was posed as, are you going to be pregnant soon? So that could explain this in a way. One of the reasons that might explain this gap in employment would be that employers in several cases were more willing to employ men than women for that reason only. And then going back to what you were saying, it was especially in focus groups, it became obvious to us as researchers that in many cases men had to face their privileged position as opposed to what it means to be. They could hear the experiences of women employees or even managers, but at the same time they would be kind of observers and condescending, and that needed to be explored a lot and to be discussed a lot, and to points as Audrey was saying before, was creating heated conversations on, you don't understand what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. So it is really very interesting, and it's a topic that really opens up always a kind of a positional understanding of where one stands and why one stands there.
Thank you very much. And then Marko.
Well, one point that struck me when doing the job of desk research on one side and interviews and focus groups on the other side is that while during the desk research from the training programs already enacted in Italy, it emerged something obvious, such as the fact that EDI topics were not covered in the Entrecomp framework, so entrepreneurship framework, and in the digital framework, which is quite evident, apparent. There was a good coverage when it came to life competencies skill, so in general soft skills. And what struck me is that when doing interviews, especially from students and young professionals, the message was, hey, we had some EDI-related training, but it was apparent that the trainers were not really prepared to do that, or, and even worse, that the company was doing that just for the label, just for the EDI washing purpose. And so I think that also in a positive way, this is the way to go when during the rest of our project we will go and plan how to put, to give a solution, to propose solutions to these gaps.
Wonderful, thank you. And Val, if you could also shortly share some key findings from Germany. Again, I think you need to unmute.
Yeah, so, sure. Just wanted to mention that while doing research in Germany, we split our activities between two partners, TU Dresden and ProArbeit. So besides TU Dresden, also our another German partner, ProArbeit, did a great and extensive work. So thank them, a huge thank them for the collaboration. So I think it's important that we mention it there. Speaking about qualitative research, so focus groups and interviews, we find out that some aspects of ADI were partially covered in study programs, in different study programs, but though there is still a huge need in integrating ADI aspects in the university programs. For example, while doing the focus groups, one can mention the unconscious bias of students when they were speaking of and answering our questions, right related to ADI. And certainly we found out the unconscious bias and discrimination present in many aspects of the work life, and that there is a need for flat hierarchy that especially incentivizes collaboration and open communication, but also which fosters ADI in the working environment. Adding to the desktop research, when we're comparing different educational programs, in contrast to the previous speaker, we found out that in Germany there was a lot of offer in regard of digicom, but also entrepcom, so entrepreneurial skills and digital skills, but there was not so much offer which was related to life competences. Yeah.
Wonderful, thank you. I'm looking at the time and I realize that we're almost already running out of time. It's a big subject and so many angles to discuss. Very quick, short round, looking into the future and next steps of the project. I would say that 2 sentences per person. What is sort of what you would point out in terms of the next steps of the project from your perspective?
Well,
I know it's a big task to ask for this, but.
So the next steps of the project is actually designing the education curriculum. So we need to identify the competencies and skills that are needed at the moment. So we will use all of the findings that we have from this particular phase in the project to do that.
Okay, thank you. And Heini,
Yeah,
what are the things to maybe add something
Yeah,
or
I would
to
like
keep in
to add
mind?
from that, because one of the things that will be in the list of the competencies that will be included in the curriculum and the training is emotional competence, and that is one of the things that we will put some effort to produce content on that.
Thank you.
As you understand, and now I will not put a full stop anywhere, so I can speak as much as I want. So, as you understand, it's time for action now for us, I mean, in our level. So, we try to put together the new curricula. We will have a massive online course, and the model that will be available to students in order to, put something in this changing the situation. And we also will have at the end a winter spring school, again to put in action what we are thinking and how these modules can work, in order at the end to be able to make some recommendations that can be really realistic and can work.
Thank you for sharing your perspectives and taking the time to be part of the conversation. We really do appreciate it, and good luck for the future and the next steps as well. So one more round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you.